Usually when people refer to the offspring of Adam and Eve, their minds quickly go to the story of Cain and Abel. Yet, a lot of people overlook the other scriptural stories that detail Adam and Eve's additional sons and daughters. In this video, I will concentrate specifically on Adam and Eve's daughters. Who were they? How many were there? Drawing on sources like the Book of Jubilees, the Holy Bible, and old traditions, I plan to explore and discuss the background of these daughters of Adam. If you find this topic engaging, feel free to give it a like and drop a comment. Stay tuned for this extra material, the untold story of Adam and Eve's daughters. One subject that seldom receives attention, frequently neglected by theologians, Bible experts, and even those who love studying holy writings, is the enigma surrounding Adam and Eve's daughters. Usually, readers of the Bible pay more attention to the famous sons of Adam and Eve, Cain, their eldest, and Abel, his younger brother. Yet they tend to ignore that Adam and Eve had numerous daughters, as indicated by Genesis chapter 5, verses 4 and 5, which share interesting details about Adam's sons and daughters. It states that after Seth was born, Adam lived another 800 years, having more sons and daughters, reaching a total lifespan of 930 years. The Bible does not give the names of Adam and Eve's daughters, but other writings from old Jewish traditions do list some of them. Therefore, relying on the Book of Jubilees, I will bring up the names of certain daughters of Adam and Eve, as described in these ancient Jewish sources, which shed light on these lesser-known individuals. For anyone who doesn't know, the Book of Jubilees is sometimes called the Little Genesis because of its link to the word Jubilee, which signifies joy. It appears in the Old Testament Apocrypha and recounts the world's creation, the story of Adam and Eve after their fall, and features accounts of various Old Testament figures, mainly from the book of Genesis. Though it is quite ancient, the earliest manuscript we possess is from around 700 BCE, though that text is itself a copy of an older original. Certain experts connect the Book of Jubilees with the Book of Chronicles, proposing that Ezra the scribe might have compiled it. Yet, the Book of Jubilees claims that Moses is its real author, having received angelic guidance on Mount Horeb. It's worth noting that the Bible says Moses spent 40 days and 40 nights on Mount Horeb with no food or water, in God's presence. From a historical standpoint, given how old this text is, we can't rule out that Moses may have truly written it. The Book of Jubilees held a notable place in Israelite society, with many copies circulated among the populace. It also references another mysterious apocryphal work, the Book of Enoch, which the early Christians knew well and even included in their version of the Bible. This highlights the significance of not overlooking the Book of Jubilees, since it contains events that correspond with biblical narratives. Let's return to Adam and Eve. Several old Semitic Abrahamic sources say that their first daughter was named Aven. In Phoenician Hebrew, Aven means potency, or sometimes vice. She was both the wife and sister of Cain, another child of Adam and Eve. As stated in the Book of Jubilees, she and Cain had children, and among them was Enoch. The Bible records that after Cain was exiled for killing Abel, he built a city named after his son. That city was called Enoch, as a tribute to him. Aven appears in the Book of Jubilees and other Abrahamic writings, though in some, like the Cave of Treasures, she is called Kelima. Hence, Kelima was Cain's spouse and Adam and Eve's first daughter, according to these sources. In various ancient Semitic traditions, Adam and Eve's second daughter was called Azura. She became the wife of Seth, their third son, born after Abel's death. In Hebrew, the name Seth can carry the sense of replacement or compensation. This matters because after Abel was slain by his brother Cain, Adam and Eve viewed Seth as a divinely given stand-in for Abel. He is portrayed as a virtuous offspring, and through his family line, people continue to honor God, according to the biblical story. Also, Seth's ancestry is essential in the Bible since it leads to Noah, who played a key part in the account of the Great Flood and saving humankind. Because of that, Seth and Azura formed an important link in the human family tree that ties creation to later stories and major figures in the Judeo-Christian faith. One fascinating point in the Book of Jubilees is that it says Azura was originally Abel's wife and was widowed when he died. Once Seth reached adulthood, he married Azura, and their union led to the lineage that would bear Seth's name, making him the founding forefather of that line. According to the Book of Jubilees, Azura was born in the 6th week of the 4th Jubilee and wed her brother Seth in the 5th week of the 5th Jubilee. In the 4th year of the 6th week, she had a son called Enos. Later, after Enos grew up, he got married during the 3rd week of the 7th Jubilee to Noam, his sister and the daughter of Seth and Azura. Enos was a child of Seth and Azura, recognized for his devoted life and dedication to honoring God. The Bible mainly mentions Enos in Genesis 5 verses 6 to 11, where his lineage is described as follows. Seth lived 105 years and begot Enosh. After he begot Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and begot sons and daughters. In total, Seth lived 912 years, and he died. Enosh lived 90 years and begot Kenan. After he begot Kenan, Enosh lived 815 years and begot sons and daughters. In total, Enosh lived 905 years, and he died. Enos is chiefly noted for his habit of praying and calling upon God's name. The next verse in Genesis 4:26 says, "At that time people began to call on the name of the Lord." This implies that Enos significantly influenced the spread of worship and spiritual devotion among Seth's descendants. Thus, if we follow the old Book of Jubilees and Semitic Jewish tradition, Cain took his sister Avin as his wife, leading to the line of Cain. Meanwhile, Seth married his sister Azura, starting the line of Seth. You may be curious about how many children, both sons and daughters, Adam and Eve actually had. The Bible suggests they had a large number, particularly given that Adam lived for more than 800 years. Adam and Eve were, in fact, the most fruitful people of their era. As the first woman, Eve was incredibly fertile, and Adam was just as fertile. Hence, in keeping with these ancient accounts, they brought countless sons and daughters into the world during their lifetime. In more recent history, based on the Guinness World Records, the woman documented with the greatest number of children was Valentina Vasiliev. She is said to have died at 76, leaving 69 children who survived into later life, with only 2 passing away as infants. According to the Guinness World Records, Valentina experienced 27 pregnancies, which included 16 sets of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets. Even though there are accounts of other women having 50 or 60 children, Valentina holds the officially acknowledged record. Still, I'd like to point out that Eve surpassed all of these women in terms of childbearing, since she is seen as the most fruitful woman ever. So if a modern woman, or even one from a century ago, could have about 69 children, just think about what Eve might have accomplished, given that she supposedly lived close to 900 years according to the biblical text. Additionally, some traditions suggest that Adam and Eve had many offspring, maybe around 70 or even more. Considering their vigor, resilience, and high fertility, along with conditions back then that promoted large families, they might have had hundreds of children. In Genesis chapter 6 verse 1, we read that as Adam's descendants increased across the earth, many lovely daughters were born. One intriguing but often overlooked point is that all of Adam and Eve's sons and daughters carried their own distinct ethnic heritage, since Adam and Eve themselves were originally of mixed race. This helped shape humanity's varied ethnic backgrounds, where a wide range of races and ethnic groups can still trace their beginnings back to Adam and Eve. Modern mitochondrial DNA research, sometimes referred to as the study of mitochondrial Eve, supports the idea that everyone shares a single female ancestor, despite the racial and ethnic diversity around us today. So this genetic evidence shows we all come from the same lineage, enriching the world's ethnic and racial tapestry and linking us back to our first parents. So, were you aware of the tale of Adam and Eve's daughters? You can share your thoughts in the comments. Also, please suggest any new topics or biblical figures you'd like covered in a future video. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end.
Thank you for watching.
And I'll see you again
Please
soon.
subscribe to our channel to support us and help us create more videos. Thank you and God bless you.